If you're of a mindset that says, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to go hustle, I'm going to go work, and I'm going to go work hard, guess what? You're right. That can never go away. Some people say, I want to work smart. I don't want to work hard. Well, let me give you just a word of advice real quick. There's no way that you can do one or the other. You have to be able to do both. You've got to work hard. You've got to work smart. Some of the most biggest earners out there said the exact same thing. You've got to have ingredient of working hard and be able to work smart at the same time. You can't get away from working hard. The only way you can be able to be successful is being able to work hard. You've got to put the time in. You've got to put the sweat equity. Put this plan together that's going to force you outside of your bubble, that's going to force you into a place where opportunity can happen. Opportunity happens whenever you step outside of your bubble. Opportunity happens when you step out of your comfort zone. I never come to comfort the afflicted. I come to afflict the comfortable. That's my duty. That's my job. That's what I do. Anybody that's around me, they know that. They don't get around me without knowing that I'm not going to start stepping on their toes a little bit. I have to. I do it in a loving way though. And I say it with love, and I say it with a caring, heart behind it. It never comes from a bad position. I promise you that. Always comes in a place that I want to make sure that you're going to the next level. I have mentors in my life. I allow them to speak to me. I allow them without any filter. They already know from the beginning. You can tell me what you need to tell me. You don't need to soften the hit. I need you to punch me square in the mouth. Mike Tyson said that everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And it's true. But guess what? My question to you is this: in your life and in your personal life and in your personal development, do you have people in your life that you have that are speaking to you on a regular basis, that are punching you in the mouth? Or are you at a place in your life, in your career, where you're saying, I don't need that anymore? That's funny because where I just came from, you've got literally the billion-dollar man, J.J. Giacontelli, who does over $1 billion of sales in the auto industry. But that man was one of the ones that said, you have to have somebody speak into your life. You have to. You have to have. You can never get to the point where where you say, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Because at that point, you just put a cap on yourself and you said, up to this point, this is how far my career went. This is how far my success is going to go. You have to be willing to break that ceiling and say, no, there is more levels to this. There is more growth. There is more opportunity. I can do more. I can do better. Somebody had made a statement a little bit earlier, and I won't point out who, said door to door. No, I don't do all that. Let me tell you something. You do door to door. You're just not doing it in that same fashion or form. But when you tell yourself, I don't do this or I don't do that, you were just gutsy enough to be able to say it. These guys were thinking it as well, but they just didn't say it. So I like that. When we begin to tell ourselves, I don't do this, I don't do that, that's not for me. Guess what you're doing? You're going like this. You're putting a ceiling on every one of those areas. You're saying, I'm not going to grow here. This is what you're actually saying to yourself. You're literally speaking this into the universe and into your world, into your growth potential. You're saying, I will not grow here. I will not grow there. I will not excel here. I won't excel there. I won't. That's what you're saying. So that mindset, and can I speak to you as a friend? Is that okay? Can I speak to you as a professional, as a like-minded person that's looking to grow?
Punch me in the mouth.
Punch me in the mouth. I like this guy. Yes, I like him. Punch me in the mouth. You've got to be willing to say, you know what? You be honest with yourself, right? Honest and sincerity. Look, I don't like this. I don't like the idea of doing it like this or doing that. But you know what? I'm willing to try and putting that out there to see what happens. What's the possibilities? I don't know until I do it.
Right.
And one of the things I want to challenge you to do is think outside of your box. Think outside of your comfort zone. It's something that's uncomfortable and it challenges your current position on something. You might want to do it because there may be greatness right behind that door. If you don't remember anything else, remember that. Do not forget that. Seriously, if there's something, a comfort level that's there that holds you within your little nice comfy, something that allows you to be so comfortable that you're like, man, I like this feel. This is good. This works. It's going. I'm getting by. How many of you are making over 6 figures in this room? You don't have to raise your hand if you don't want to. Okay. So if you are, great. Why aren't you making 7 figures? And if you're making 7 figures or you have made 7 figures, why aren't you making 8 figures? I know this sounds kind of crazy, right? Especially if you still are in the 6 figures or if you're still in 5 figures. It sounds crazy, right? But I want to be able to help you to break that glass ceiling that you have. I was in a plane on the way to Miami. The light comes on. The pilot says, we're going to be having some turbulence. You never understand what they're saying. We're going to be, hold on. All right, cool. So we might just die. So I'm getting ready to go. All of a sudden, the plane starts shaking. Everything gets dark outside. The clouds are growing up. We're rising up. Clouds are getting darker. We start shaking even more. Next thing you know, it starts shaking more, and I'm getting scared. We're going, and it starts shaking even more. The lady next to me, she don't know me. She grabs my hand. She's scared too. I don't know if she was grabbing my hand or I was grabbing her hand. That's debatable. But so we start going. The plane is shaking. I'm freaking out. I'm kind of starting to sweat up a little bit, you know. Next thing you know, we start getting to the even higher part. It gets even darker, right? You can see the lightning going and stuff like that. I'm freaking out. I'm inside, on the inside. I'm scared. I am. Next thing you know, all of a sudden, and it felt like there was a pop, just a little burst. It was the weirdest feeling in the world. We just came out of the clouds, and all of a sudden, everything on top of the clouds was pretty. It was baby blue, beautiful out there. There was the clouds were down here. The sky was the limit. I tell you this story to say this. In our lives, in our professional lives, also in your personal lives, relationships, all that stuff, but in your business, the hardest, most rockiest, most uncomfortable time will happen right before your breakthrough. The hardest, rockiest, most pressured and shaking moment of your life that will shake you out of your comfort will happen right before your breakthrough happens. It's amazing that when you're under the clouds, you look up and the clouds are the limit. They're your ceiling. But once you get through that breakthrough, all of a sudden you're like, there's a whole nother world over here. There's a whole nother world up here. And you're up on top of, up over the clouds, and you're looking up going, man, there's a ceiling up there. Now there's more stuff up there. That has to be the limit. Can I tell you that there is no limit? There really isn't. The only limit that's there is the limit that you've put there, or the limit that you allowed others to put on you. And that's a very powerful thing. You've got to begin to think bigger. You got to begin to think bigger. Even if your operation is big and it's successful and you're doing well, you've got to begin to think, how can I be able to 10 times this thing? How can I step over this bubble? You can feel it sometimes. You're like, man, I know it's right there. I know we can do more. But guess what? The comfort tells you, hey, your bills are getting paid. You're doing okay. You're not a bad guy. You're not a bad girl. You're doing all right. You ain't hurting nobody. A mediocrity begins to set in and say, no, you're comfortable. And it begins to rock you to sleep. My question to you is this. Do you truly believe that you have potential in your life? Do you truly believe that God gave you this opportunity at life? Or you were born, it's 1 in 42 billion that you were gonna live. Here you are, alive. When your mama and daddy had a beautiful night that night, you think it's by chance that you and I are here sitting today in this room? No! There's a bigger plan, there's a bigger picture. Whether you wanna see it or not, that's up to you. Let me tell you something. I've gotten outside of that cloud, I broke through and I said, oh my God. There's a whole nother world out here. One of the things I began to do when I started thinking outside of my box and stepping outside of the limits that I had put on myself and all the BS that I was believing that everybody else had put on me. You see, my family, nobody from my family has gone to college. They barely got out of high school. They never were millionaires. They were barely thousandaires. You know what I'm saying? So I come from a very poverty-stricken family. 6 brothers and sisters and my mom and dad. We've had a very, very hard life. There were some limiting beliefs that were put on my life, but as I began to work through those things and I found good, solid mentors in my life that were able to speak directly to me, and I allowed them to do that, I allowed them that space, they began to speak life into me and begin to let me know that I did have more. Even though I had done really well. I was making 6 figures at the company that I was working with. In corporate, I was doing great. I had a nice car, I had a nice house, I had nice clothes, it was fine. But the reality was that there was still more. I want everybody to do something real quick. Everybody raise your hand as high as you can get it. High as you can get it. I like that. High as you can get it. Now I'm gonna challenge you. Go a little bit higher, just a little bit. Your children, your spouse, they're literally about to die right now, seriously. And I'm giving you one opportunity. If you go an inch higher, their life is, thank you. Everybody's hands went up higher. You know what that lets me know? You've got more in you. You've got more in you. I've got more in you. And I love my brother right here because what did he do? He didn't just stay sitting down. He got up. He said, shh, I'm going up for this. There's a song and they kept on playing it out there in Miami. I'm all the way up. Y'all ever heard that song? I'm all the way up. Yeah. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. I changed the words to that song because it's kind of iffy, and that's just my style. I always sing it to myself. I always say, I'm on my way up.
There you go.
I'm on my way up. If you have a mentality to be able to live by a mindset, live by that. I have not got there yet. I have not accomplished everything yet. My life is not over. My life work is not over. I'm on my way up. I'm not through yet. I'm still hungry.
That's it.
I'm still hungry. I've still got hunger pains inside of me. I want more. And can I tell you something? It's not a bad thing to want more. On the contrary, if you're satisfied with where you're at and you're willing to put a cap on your potential, I'd venture to say that there is something wrong with that. Because you're not living this life that you were given and destined for, and the potential that you have, you're not tapping into it. It's fullness. And there is something wrong with that. I didn't think I could until I started to think I could. And there's a lot of power in that. If you can begin to start thinking you can do something, my friend, you can begin to start doing something. But if you don't start thinking you can do it, you're not going to ever do it. You to understand you can do more. You can. You really, really can. Step outside of your box, remove the glass ceiling, break that sucker open, and give more. Do more. Get a passion for prospecting and what you're doing. Everything that you're doing is based upon prospecting. I know we want to go out there and get a sale. I know we want to get out there and get the sale because that's where the money is. But a sale is a byproduct of a presentation. A presentation was a byproduct of being able to plant a seed. Planting that seed was a byproduct of doing an activity. And an activity was based upon a byproduct of you sitting down saying, I want to do this, and setting up a plan. So I dislike people that don't like to plan, because planning is everything. You can't get to the sale without setting a plan. Get a passion for prospecting. Fall in love with it. Because when you've got enough prospects, man, you've got sales galore. But it's funny, you don't have any prospects, you don't got no sales. Where did they go? It's mind-blowing, right? Get a passion for prospecting. You've got an 8-cylinder vehicle potential under the hood. And some of us are using 2 cylinders, 3 cylinders, 4 cylinders. What do I mean by that? Name a prospecting activity that you like to do.
Door knocking.
Man, I like this guy. Door knocking. Old school, right? Old school. Man, that ain't old school. That's business. If you come knocking at my door telling me, sir, I just wanted to, and you give me your pitch and stuff, guess what I'm thinking? And guess what the majority of South Texas thinks? Oh my God, Lord, did you just send this man to my house? Did you just send her to my house? Is this a sign? Are you kidding me? Yes, that's exactly what's going through their head. One of the biggest and best advertising that was ever done was by, I think it was Sames, or I forgot who it was. They're out there in Calallen, and they had a big old sign that said, here is your sign. And they had a little guy sitting up on top. It was based upon people saying, man, I don't know if I should buy this truck or not. I need a sign. That was it. That was huge. Their sales increased like crazy. So door knocking, beautiful. Name something else. Anybody else? Throw some things out.
Cold calling.
Cold calling. Anybody else? One more.
Telemarketing.
Telemarketing. I love telemarketing, man. Where I came from, they hated that I used to do that, but I loved it. It was working. Something else.
Research.
Research. Anything else?
Talking to anybody about it.
I like that, the 3-foot rule. Anywhere you go, everywhere and anywhere. I know you talked about it a little bit earlier. You're at the grocery store. Who cares? Talk to them and make the conversation go where it's supposed to go. Don't just talk to people, but talk to people and make sure that it's fitted and suited for them. So talking to people, 3-foot rule. Anything else? You said it earlier, the crab traps. Put in your brochures all over the place, putting them out there. What else? Existing clients? Maybe following up with some of them?
Yeah, referrals.
Referrals? Getting the referrals while you're there. Anything else? Warm market? Talking to some of your people that you know, the people that know, like, and trust you. That's 8 cylinders easily right there. And we ain't even halfway done yet. But you've got an 8-cylinder vehicle.
Social marketing.
I like that social. Oh, we're best friends now. That's 9. So we got a 9 cylinder. We need one more because we can't live on do a 9 cylinder. I can't do that. We got to have a 10 at least. We got a Mercedes, big bodies.
Viper. I said Viper.
A Viper. There you go. Business to business, right? Because that's different than just
Networking.
networking. All right, now we're at 11. We need one more because we can't stay at an odd number. One more.
Going for the AMG kit.
Yeah. One more. Just one more. One last one.
Friends and family. That's more market.
Putting your brochures literally on every car in HEB. Not even having to put one foot out there. How do you do that? There's a secret that I'll share with you afterwards, but it's beautiful, beautiful. Work smart, work hard, right? Both at the same time. The thing is that you got 12 cylinders right there that we just spit out. But how many are you really using? I mean, seriously. And I don't even want to look at you, okay? Don't even raise your hand or nothing like that. Don't make no faces or nothing. How many of you are using all of them?
None. None of us.
So the question is, why? Knowing that those things are there and knowing that somebody out there is killing it with literally every one of those things, why would we not be using some of them?
Lazy.
Fear.
Fear.
That's a big one. That's a real big one. 12 cylinder vehicle, AMG package. I'm a Mercedes guy myself, you know that.
Confidence.
Those are all reasons why not to. But 12 cylinders that literally you should be able to get from here, from point A to point B being a place of success, you should be able to get there like that, with speed, with quickness, with fierceness, with power, with success. But you're not getting there as fast as you need to, and you're wondering why. And I'm saying to myself, why am I not doing it? Why am I not getting there? Why? Well, maybe you're just using 2 cylinders. What would happen if you tapped into more cylinders? You don't even have to use all 12. What if you just bumped up to a 4-cylinder? What if you bumped up to a 6-cylinder? I promise you this, activity is going to lead to prospects, and the prospects will lead to your sales. It's not rocket science. That's what it is. That's what it is. A sale is just a byproduct of being able to do activity. Have a passion for prospecting. Have a goal for the day to say, I'm gonna have 7. 7 was always my number. I like 7. I'm gonna have 7 solid prospects today. Or say I'm gonna have 7 solid prospects / suspects, because you get some suspects every once in a while. The goats mixed with the sheep. It's okay, it happens. So you say, you know what, I'm gonna have 7 solid by the end of today in everything that I've got going today. And if I don't get it, my day's not over. Well, that's kind of steep. I don't like that rule. Well, really? You've got to hold yourself to a higher standard. It's not gonna come easy. It's gonna take work, but you can do it. You absolutely can be able to. The sky is not the limit. People say, and I put this in the book as well, they say, the sky's the limit. No, the sky's not the limit. The sky is not the limit. I would say shoot for the moon. You may miss and hit a star. But if you shoot for the stars, you may miss and end up with your head in the clouds somewhere. And you don't want to do that. Put your goals just slightly a little bit outside of your comfort zone and say, I'm going to do this. And if you hit it, guess what? Woo! Had a good day. Had a good day. But if you don't, oh man, can't believe that I was shooting for 3 sales this week. Only got 2, but they were good ones. Man, I was shooting for 7 today of my prospects / suspects. I only got 6. You've been normally getting 3 and 2. A lot better than that, right? Put your comfort zone, break your comfort zone just a little bit. Put your goals right outside of your reach. And if you hit them, you had a good week. You had a good month. You had a good year. If you didn't, you hit it right underneath, and it was still good. So I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention, and I hope through it all, I hope something is of value in the middle of all that. It's like a Chinese buffet, right, or a buffet in general. You don't go out there and go eat everything. You can't. You get a bellyache. Some of it was for you. Some of it wasn't for you. But get out there, get your plate, put the stuff that was good for you, eat that stuff up, and take off. Reach your potential. Thank you, guys.
Very good.